So today we'll be continuing with the next topic, that is Ansible Day 11 session. So in last topic, that is in a day 10, right? We had completed the variables, right? And we had just started with the looping actually, right? Loops are very important, and I just started with one simple example actually. So what is today's agenda is that we will be covering up, or we'll be continuing the Ansible loops. There are various different examples I'll be covering up, as well as we will be trying to complete even Ansible conditions also. Conditions. So that's what today's agenda. Okay, we'll see how much we're going to cover. So these two topics are very important because like whenever we are working or whenever we are writing any playbook file, in our playbook file, a lot of times we'll be using loops as well as condition statements actually. So that's the reason these two topics are like very like a very important topic actually. So we need to know little bit in depth on both these topics actually. Okay, so now let's start. So in the last session actually, like we had understood about, we took a small example. Like if you see it, right, like I just took a small example, right? So what I did here, that my requirement was that like I have an Ansible server, and here we have an Ansible node 1 and node 2. So what I need, basically, I want to copy a file actually. Like I will use a copy model, something like -host all, then I'll say task. Then basically what I did here, right? I want to create a copy, or I want to use a copy actually. So what is my requirement is that actually that I need to copy this etc possibility, etc uh, group, and etc fs tab file. All these files, all these three files, basically, I need to copy under the temp directory. That was our requirement, right? So what we saw in the last session, that we just saw that like without using any kind of a loops, how I can copy it. Like you can see that I had copied here, all these things, right? Whenever you're writing any playbook file, you know that you have to always start with the three hyphens. Okay, that we know that name. So this is to demonstrate the loops. This is to demonstrate without loops, like this, without loops, right? Host all, become yes, right? Becomes a sudo user task. So what you're doing here, you're trying to call a copy model. So you have to use two space here and say hyphen space copy model. Source is what? It is possibility. Destination what? Is what? It is temp. Same thing. You will say that Rajesh, I want to copy some more files. So I'll say copy again. Source is what? etc. What is the next? Group file. Destination is the same path. It means that I need to copy under the temp directory. Again, call a copy model. What is the source? Give two space from here. 1, 2. Source is what? etc fs tab file, and dst destination is what? Temp. I could see that I'm trying to copy these three files, etc possibility, etc group, and etc fs tab under the same temp directory. Under the same temp directory. Now you could see here that I was unnecessarily using this copy model more than one time, right? So I'm calling the copy model here, again I'm calling here, again I'm calling here. So unnecessary, you are calling these three copy models like for three times. So this is nothing but it is unnecessary reuse of the same model again and again. Instead of it, you can use the loops actually. So to use the loops, how you did, you could see that actually here what I did, like here the same example over here. So right, host all, become yes, task, copy, source. Here what I can do, that suppose I'm not using this actually, I'm not using this. Suppose that you will say that Rajesh, can we do this way? Like for example, under the source etc possibility file, comma etc group file grop, comma, etc, fstab file. So you would say that, Rajesh, is it possible this way? But can I run this? Can I copy these three files in this way without using any loops? So we'll do one thing, sir. We'll try to execute this and we'll see whether it works or not. Basically, it'll throw in syntax error, but still we will try to run this just to show that if you use in this method, whether it'll really works or not. So what I will do, right? I'll go to my EC2 instance. So here you can see that I have already launched all these servers. So this is Ansible server. This is node 1, node 2, and node 3. And node 1, node 2, and Ansible. These are three servers which are Ubuntu flavor, and this is the CentOS flavor. So let me do one thing. Let me log in into all these servers. Actually, I'll go to the Ansible server. I'll go to the networking. I'll copy this IP address. Come over here. So I'll load this default. And so basically, I'm trying to log in directly as a root user here. So I have logged into the root user, right? Similarly, I will try to log into the node 1 and node 2 also. Copy the public IP, come over here, launch the putty session, and here defaults I will load it. So then I'll copy this IP address over here. That is a node 1 IP address. So root is a login. Okay, I have logged in as a node 1. Same thing in the node 2 also. Node 2. Node 2. Default. Load. Copy IP address. Login as a root user. Okay. So basically, I have logged in to all these three machines. I will not be logging in the node 3 now because it's a CentOS. I will use it later once I start the conditions, right? Ansible condition. At the time I require this machine, so I will log in at that time. Okay. So now what happened? I have these three machines. Okay. So here, if you see under this Ansible server, you know very well that my inventory, it is then the etc Ansible host file. You could see that these are the two IP addresses. These are the private IP addresses for the node 1. This is for node 1 and this for node 2, right? Let me do one thing. Let me try to ping and check if I'm able to connect. So I'll say Ansible all -m ping. See, I'm able to communicate. Sometimes some people do some mistakes like this. They'll say Ansible, okay, and then they'll say -m all ping. This will not work out. Why? Because right, after M, always it expects for the module name. So here what happened, right? After the M, the module name should be there. Okay, so it should always be something like either you can mention the Ansible all here at the beginning itself, or else always at the end, like this. Don't add in between -m, don't add that all and all here, or else here don't mention even all, means you are actually maintaining the group name all. So here, whenever you are using -m, it should never after m immediately it should be a model name. You should not add any kind of a inventory group name or something like that. Okay, so here I would say that Ansible -m ping all, or you can say that Ansible all -m ping, like this. Both are same actually. Okay. So now, so you're able to ping it. It means that both these machines are up and running. So it means that Ansible server is able to communicate with your node 1 and node 2. This is a node 1 IP address and this is a node 2 IP address. Now, what you want to do is that I already have an Ansible examples. So I'll just say ls. I have a loops. So I have a loop 1 and loop 2. Let me check in loop 1 what we have. Okay, this is the example we have. So I think I will try to move this loop 1 as a loop 2.yaml. So I'll rename it actually because we let us have an order like. Let me create a loop 1.yaml. And what I will do, I will try to paste this. So this we are just demonstrating just to check whether this will work or not, right? So you could see that, yes, we are maintaining all these files here under the same line. So we are thinking that it might work. Let us see if it works or not. So I'll save this file. I'll just say Ansible -playbook and specify the YAML file, loop1.yaml. Now you could see that it will throw an error. See, so it will throw an error. It means that this will not work out like this. Then what is the thing you need to do next? So here you could see that under the loop2.yaml, you could see that I have removed all those things. What I have used here, I have used some predefined variable. So item is basically a predefined variable. Item is a predefined variable in Ansible. And item is always or basically used during looping. So whenever you want to achieve any kind of a looping, you have to use a item. So what you're doing here, you're doing a source, okay, item, open the double quote, okay, open the flower bracket and write this item and then close the double brackets, flower bracket and close with the double quotes actually. The destination is a temp, okay. Then what you're doing that with items. So always whenever you're using items, here you should always use with items. Now you could see that this with item, it should always be in indentation with this model, like copy model. See, with is here, see, copy is here. See, it should always be indentation like this. With underscore items, it should, the spelling should always be right. And you are mentioning all this file. It is a password file, it is a shadow file, it is a FSTAB file, as well as it is a group file. These 4 files, where you need to copy, you need to copy under the temp directory. So if you go to the node 1 and go to the temp directory, can you see nothing is over there? And again here, come back to here in the node 2, go to the temp directory and I'll say ls, nothing is there. So now what you have to do here, you are trying to copy each and every file under the temp directory. So here, what you are doing here, first, as soon as you run this playbook file, what happens that you will come to the copy model, and after the copy model, it is checking for the what is the source. But source is nothing but it is an item. Okay, it means that he is using an item. Item is a predefined variable. It means that it is used as a looping. Okay, fine. Destination where I need to copy under the temp directory. Fine. With items. Okay, these are the item values. So what will happen that first this value will be taken up. This value will be assigned to the variable item. So source is nothing but etc possibility for the first time, and the destination is /temp. Or it means that this etc possibility file has to be copied under the temp directory. So here, whatever you have, this is nothing but your Ansible server, correct? Ansible server, and this is nothing but the node 1 and node 2 and node 2. So what you're doing here, under your Ansible servers etc possibility file, you are trying to copy this file. Where you're copying, you're trying to copy this file under the node 1's /temp directory, correct? So now what happened, for the first iteration, this value will be assigned to the variable item, and then it understand, okay, src is nothing but etc possibility file, fine. And then what is the destination, /temp, okay, fine. What you're doing, you're trying to copy, it will try to copy it. So what it will do, the copy model will try to copy this file under the temp directory of node 1. Okay, fine. Now because here it is a list actually, this is a list. So in the list, whenever you are completed for the first, always with item, it will check, is there any other next value? Yes, there are next values there, because here you have mentioned the list with the hyphen, right? So next is the etc pass shadow, sorry. etc shadow will be assigned to the item variable. So item variable is what? The source is number etc shadow file. Now here what happened? Coming back again here, again here what happened, that etc shadow file is there, okay? That where it has to be copied, it has to be copied under the temp directory only of node 1. Same thing will happen even in the node 2 also, because we are doing parallelly on both this node 1 and node 2, right? So node 1 node 2, you are trying to copy this etc pass2d file, this etc shadow file under the temp, you are trying to copy. Similarly, the etc shadow also will be copied to the temp directory of the node 1. Same thing will happen like an iterative way even for all these other files actually, like etc fstab, etc group files. So like this it will happen. So now we already have this example. Let us see. Let us try to execute this example. So let me save this file. So now what I will do, I'll just say Ansible hyphen playbook loop 2.yaml. Let me do one thing. Let me do a syntax hyphen check. So I'm just checking the syntax. Yes, it is perfectly fine. So now I'll try to run this playbook file, loop2.yaml, and let us see whether it will copy or not. Now you could see that actually it is trying to copy. You could see that the etc password file has been copied to this server, and the etc password has been copied to this servers. Again, etc shadow file. So you could see that it has been copied. Now you could see that it has set the change is equal to 1, right, on both these servers. Now go back here to the node 1, and you are already in the temp directory. Just say ls. Can you see all these 4 files have been copied? The same thing would have happened even to the node 2 also. So node 2, I am already under the temp directory. If you execute pwd, I'm already in temp. If you do an ls-l, you could see that all these 4 files have been copied, right? So whatever we did it over here in our example, right here in this example, whatever we did it over here, what happened? Where we are, guys? Under the loop 2.yaml, right? So we have been copied all these 4 files. Is it clear? Okay. So now, so this is what a very, very basic, simple looping what we have achieved over here actually. Okay. So now what I can do here, I can still more extend the usage of this loop. So let us even, let us see furthermore steps what I can do here. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this content under this loop 2 itself. Loop 1 is there. So let me open one more file known as a loop 2.yaml actually. So here I've copied it. I've pasted the same content. So now what I will do, I will have one more file, something was a loop 3.yaml. So because I need to keep a separate file for everything. Okay, loop 3.yaml. So I will copy the same stuff actually. I'll paste it the same stuff. Now what I will do, I will try to increase few more things, like I want to demonstrate few more things on looping. So that's the reason. So what I would do, I will try to use a file model actually, like for example -file colon. Okay, so okay, so what I'm doing, so for the file what it needs, 1 to 8 path it needs. So what I'm doing here, basically I am using an item variable here because I need to use a loops, right? I will use an item variable here. So you could see that actually you should always give like this item variable, and I will just say state. So what you need to create, I need to create a directory. Okay, fine, I need to create that. Now what you needed, so whenever using item, you should always use with underscore items. So you could see even you use the same with underscore item here also. The same thing I'm using over here also with underscore items. So now what I will do, I'll give 2 spaces hyphen. I'll just say temp something my cloud -1. Same thing I'll just say temp my cloud -2. Anything, can give any name. Temp my cloud -3. So what you're doing here, you are trying to use a looping with the help of item, and what you're doing under the temp, you are creating one directory by name mycloud, and again in the same temp you are creating mycloud2, mycloud3. So basically you are trying to create some 3 directories using the file model, right? So you know the file model has 2 things. One is the path and the state. So here you have mentioned the directory. So what happens in this case, it will try to assign this value, the complete value, to the item variable, which is a predefined variable. So what is path? It is nothing but /temp of mycloud1. So you need to, under this /temp, you need to create a directory by name mycloud1. So first time this value will be assigned. Now what happened? The second time this will be assigned to the item, and the third time this value will be assigned. Like this, it will be like a looping actually, right? So this will happen, right? So let me do one thing. Let me do a few more things actually. Okay, I'll use again the copy model. So the copy model, you know that I have, there are 2 parameters, source. So source, what is a source? So you will say that Rajesh, the source is something like etc password file. Okay. What is a destination? Under the destination, I will be using that item now. I'll be using the item now, right? Because here in this case, you could see in this copy here, source was the looping things which you use. That's what you use item here. Whereas here, one more copy and model I'm using here, destination I'm making as a looping actually. Okay. After this, what you need, how you, what are the things you have to path? So whenever you want to pass any parameters for this item variable, right, you have to always use with underscore items. This is always required. Give two spaces, hyphen, same thing, temp my cloud one. It means that you need to copy the CCT's possibility file under the temp my cloud one directory, because already here in this file model you have already created a directory. That's the reason you are trying to copy the same file. It is a possibility under the slash temp my cloud one. Same thing you are trying to do with the slash temp my cloud two and the slash temp my cloud three. So this is somewhat little bit more than what we had achieved in the first time, right? First time we just try to copy only these four files under the temp directory, right? So here we are doing some more extra things in this example where I'm trying to create a directory as well as I'm trying to copy some more files under this directory. That's what I'm trying to achieve in this next example of your simple looping, right? So loop3.yaml. So let me check. Let me go through the server. So here I'll say loop3.yaml. So let me copy this whole stuff. So let me copy it and I'll paste it here. So it pasted. Okay. So I'm just checking if there is any syntax error. So okay, there is no syntax error. Okay, fine. It seems everything is fine. Source it is a possibility file. Everything is fine. So now I'll save this file. So I'll try to run this playbook file Ansible-playbook loop 3.yaml hyphen syntax hyphen check. So the syntax is fine. So I'll try to remove this hyphen syntax check and try to run this playbook file. Now you could see that first it is trying to copy. So the first mode already copied it because that's the reason it's showing is a green color. Already it is red. Now you could see that here you're trying to create a directory here. The second is that you are creating a directory. And third is that you're trying to copy the etc password file under this directories actually on both the nodes, node 1 and node 2. Now let's go here under the node 1. And if it's ls, you could see that it has created all this directory, my cloud 1, my cloud 2, and my cloud 3. Let me go to one my cloud 1 directory and say ls. You could see that the possibility file has been copied. So same thing, whatever you saw here, what you did here, the etc password file, you are trying to copy into where you're trying to copy to the destination, which is item variable. But item is nothing but what? Slash temp my cloud. So slash temp my cloud one is nothing but a directory. Oh, it will try to copy this file under this directory. Okay, again what happens, still because it is in a loop, right? Again the same file will be copied now to the next path, which is not slash temp my cloud 2, again in the third path, right? Because this value will be keep iterating, right? It will be in a looping, right? The first this value will be assigned to the item variable, second this value will be assigned to the item variable, and third this value will be assigned to the item variable, right? So this three paths nothing but it's a directory. So you're trying to copy the same file under three different directories on both the nodes, node 1 and node 2. You're trying to copy. So here, if you go back to the node 2, again you do ls. So you can see the same directory has been created over here also. If I say cd of my cloud 1 and say ls, you could see the possibility file has been copied, come out from there, and again say my cloud 2. So ls, you could see the possibility. Same thing, my cloud 3 also will have the possibility file. So this is the a simple way of showcasing how exactly loops can be make use of in your playbook file. Okay guys, now let us see few more examples actually. Okay, fine, this is okay. So here if you watch carefully, you could see that actually I am using this all this with items. It means that for each and every with item, right, I'm mentioning all these stuffs actually. Similarly, even here while creating a directory, again you are using this temp my cloud 2. It means that you are assigning a values over here. This is basically, it is kind of a list, right? It is like an array where you need to pass this all this value to the item variable. But don't you see that your code is looking little clumsy, because right you are reusing the same thing again and again, right? So earlier before the looping we had learned about the variables, right? So a question comes up, why don't we use the variables, right? So if you're using variables, you know variable that your code size will get reduced actually. So that's the reason. So now in this example, let us use a variable actually. So what I will do, I will try to copy the same file. I'll try to copy the same file, copy it. So let me create one more file known as a loop4.yaml. So you can either give YML or you can give either YAML. Both are same. Okay, I will try to copy this file over here. The same content. So here what I will do, I will be using a variable. So to use a variable, always the variables should be used before the task actually. So I'll come over here. I'll just say vars. So you know that we are always, whenever you want to define a variable, you have to use always vars, and vars should always be before the task, right? Either you can use vars or you can know that vars underscore files is also there. So that you have seen earlier also, right? So vars I'll say, and I'll give two space. So I'll do one thing. Let me use something like my dir, my directory. Okay, give two space hyphen slash temp slash my cloud one. Okay, then again hyphen slash temp slash my cloud 2 hyphen slash temp slash my cloud 3. So this is one variable you have defined, and other variable I'll define something like a my file. Okay, give two space, start with a hyphen, I just say etc. So what is it? etc password, then say etc shadow, then what else? Same stuff, whatever you're doing, the same stuff here. etc fs tab file, and then the last is etc groups file actually. So here you have defined two variables, my dir and my file actually. You can even remove the space also. Okay, so here you have defined this variables. So I will be using these variables here in my other models, right? So here what you're doing, the first model is not but copy, source is item, okay. Destination is temp actually, fine, it's okay, fine. With item, so here I can remove all these things actually. So what I will do that here, I'll come over here, I'll give two spaces, I'll say hyphen, then I'll do one thing, double quotes. So whenever you want to use variable, you have to always open the double quotes, right? So what you're doing here, you are trying to copy this, all these files, right? Password file and everything under a tab, right? So you have to use a my file. So I'll say my file and close the double quotes. See, you're using the variables like this. So here, okay, this is what, okay, fine. Now what you're doing here. So here also you are trying to use this my slash temp my cloud. Here also you're having slash temp my cloud. So what you can do, you can remove all these three lines. So you can go over here, you give two space, 1, 2, and start with hyphen and use a double quotes, open the flower bracket, and what is it? You have to use my dir. So come over here and just say my dir and close the double quotes. Again, what you are doing here, you're trying to copy the same file under the all these three different directory, but these three different directories on the, but this you have already defined a variable as my dir. So let me remove this also, like all these three lines. So here what happened that after this with give two spaces, start with hyphen, open with the quotes and open with the flower bracket, and I'll say my dir and close it. So always make sure that whenever you are defining variables, right? Now what happened that you have to open the two double curly flower bracket, give the space and specify the variable name and give the space and close the flower bracket and close the code actually. That's how it should always be. Okay, here there should be a space here actually. Okay, so now you could see that your code has reduced so much actually. If you see the loop 3 was looking so clumsy, right? See here in with item you're defining this, with item you're defining this, your with item you're defining this. If you come to the loop 4, you could see that this example where we have reduced the number of size also, and also the code looks very good actually compared to the previous method, right? So here this is also a very good way of using the loops along with the variables actually. Okay, so now what I will do, I will try to copy this whole content. I'll copy this, I'll go to the Ansible server. So what is the example? Loop 4.yaml, right? YAML. Or else let me do one thing, loop 4.yml I'll do. YML. Okay. So paste it here. So and save it as well. So what I will do here, before running this, let me go to the node 1 temp directory. Let me remove everything just to showcase that things are working. So under the node 1 temp, nothing is there. Same thing, I'll go to the node 2. So I'll go to the temp directory and I will try to remove everything. Okay. So now come back to your Ansible server. So you have a loop 4.yaml. Okay, Ansible hyphen playbook loop 4.yaml hyphen syntax hyphen check. So just check. You could see that actually the syntax is correct. Now what you have to do, you have to use up. You have to just remove this syntax and then you have to run this playbook. Now you could see the same stuff. First the copy, it is trying to copy the etc possibility file, etc shadow, fs tab, and etc group, everything under the node 1, node 2, under the temp directory it is copying. So here this task is to create a directory. See, you could see that it is able to create a directory that's under temp, mycloud1, mycloud2, and mycloud3. Similarly, the last is that you are trying to copy the etc possibility under all this directory in both the nodes. So you could see that you are able to execute this playbook file. Now go over here into the temp directory of node 1, and if you do ls-l, now you could see that it has recreated the same thing, whatever you are doing it. Same thing under the temp of node 2. So you can go for any of the directory mycloud1 and say ls, you could see the password file has been copied. So this is a very, very good way of showcasing how to use a simple loopings actually. Okay. Now let me take one more example, few more examples, then we'll go ahead with the next looping, that is the uh, nested looping actually. Okay. So let me take one more example of simple looping, how to use, then we will go ahead with the next one, that is nested looping. Now, so what I will do, I will just try to create one more file, something like a loop5.yaml. So in this example, what I will do, I will try to install some packages, right, using a looping actually. Okay. So what I will do, I'll just start with a 3 hyphen hosts all, right, and I'll say become yes. Then I'll just say task. So until here, you know this very well, that always whenever we are writing, so you know that even I will be writing the name also here. See, name, this is to demonstrate, like this we'll be writing. But okay, here I'm not writing that name actually. Okay. So after the task, what I will do that, because both these servers are Ubuntu servers, that is node 1 and node 2, as well as even Ansible server is also Ubuntu. I need to use, for installing the package, I have to use the apt module actually. So after the task, give 2 space 1 2 hyphen apt app module actually. So for the app module, there are 2 parameters are there. One is a name. So from here I'll just say 1 to 2 spaces name colon. You have to use the package name here. Suppose like I want to install the Apache package, you will say Apache 2. This you will say. But the thing is that you say that Rajesh, I don't want to install only one package, I want to install multiple packages. So for that, you need to use the loops. So whenever you want to use any simple loops, you know that I need to use items actually. But I need to use items. So open the code. So you know very well that I have to use this item. And whenever using item, you know that I have to always use with underscore items actually. Right? Now here, come here. And what is the state? State is nothing but present. It means that you need to install the package. Either you can use present, or else you can use installed, or else you can use a updated actually. Like this, any of this parameter you can use. So I will use this as a present actually. Okay. And then with underscore items. So guys, one thing you should always make sure that this W, right, it this with underscore item, it should start with intention where your app model is there. Similarly, if you see here the with underscore items, if you see the carefully the with underscore item, it should sync, or the intent should be under the copy model like this. If it is here or in some other position, it will show you a syntax error. So even we will see that also now. Okay. So now you could see that I'm just making sure that this with the start, or it is synced with the APT model. So wherever it is getting starting, right, in the same indentation position, the with should be there. Okay. So now let me do one thing. I have with underscore items because in the looping you should always use. Go to the next line, give 2 spaces. I'll say what are the package I want to install. I'll just say I need to install the Apache 2 package. I need to install the wget package. I need to install the curl, tree package. I need to even install the NFS hyphen kernel-server. Some 4 packages I need to install. So here you could see that while running it, as you know that you are using under the name, you are using this item. Item is a predefined variable. It is always used during the looping. So what the item will expect? Item will always expect the whatever the values which you are passing with the with items, right? That is not, but it will be expecting that value. So here under the with item, this is what the first value. So first Apache 2 will be assigned to the item variable. So what happened? The name is done but Apache 2. It means that you need to install the Apache 2 application. Okay, fine. After this completes installed, then the wget will get installed. So wget will be assigned to the item variable, and then name is nothing but the wget, and what is the state present? It means that you need to install the wget package. Similarly with the 3, similarly with the NFS server -kernel-server package. Right. So let us see whether it will work or not. So I'll just copy this and I will go over here and let me open the loop 5 example, loop5.yaml. So just I'll try to paste this here like this. Okay. So guys, you could see here, if you come over here, see it is quoted with the double quotes actually. It should be single quote. See, that's the reason it was showing the red color actually. So if you come over here and if you remove one quote, see it should turn like this actually. It's an indication that there's some syntax error like that. Anyhow, we will be checking the syntax also. Before we run, we will be checking the syntax. But I'm just showing you that this is how it works. Now, let me do one thing. As I said earlier, like this W should sync, or the indentation should be at the same position as app model actually. Suppose that I am just, I'm not maintaining. You could see that no, the indentation is not matching over here. See, here what happened, right? The width is before the indentation where the app gets start, apt starts, right? Or as much before than that actually, like here. Now you could see that I'll save this file and I'll just say Ansible-playbook loop 5.yaml -FN syntax -check. So I'm just checking whether the syntax is correct or not. See, it is throwing the syntax saying that line number 8, column number 4 is an error actually. Okay, fine. So I'll make out like this. Okay, I've understood. Okay, this is not syncing. So let me know one thing. Let me here it is syncing now, but I'll give one more space here like this. So now it is not syncing. Okay. Again, check the syntax. Check. See, again, it is throwing an error saying that there is some indentation error is there. Fine. Or else, let me do one thing. Let me make it sync now this time. And you could see that W is starting with the app. It means that the indentation is fine. Now, instead of items, assume that you have left this S. Just say with underscore item. Okay. Just say, see if it will throw any syntax error or not. Still, it say, see, you could see that it says that actually that it's an invalid task attribute failed actually. So it means that there is some problem in the line number 5 actually, like this. So in this way, you will be able to understand like where and all the errors are there. So now I'll do one thing that I will just add that S here. Now everything is fine. So this W, is it syncing with APT app model? Is it syncing here? Yes. The position is correct. The indentations are correct. Now let me save this file and I will try to check the syntax. So now it says that perfectly the syntax is fine. So now I will try to run this. So you could see that actually it is installing it. Basically, all these packages are already installed. That's the reason it is showing in a green color like this. So it means that all these packages are already installed. It means that it is perfectly, it has executed. So if you come over here, if you go to the /var ww HTML, you could see that Apache is installed. Because of the Apache installation only, you are getting this. Whether you are able to run the tree command, yes, tree is there. Whether wget is working, wget is working. Whether the NFS is there, NFS, how you will check systemctl status NFS. Sorry, NFS or NFS service. How to check the status? NFS NFS survey is in Ubuntu. Ubuntu 18.04. So you can go to any link actually. So here you could see that while installing the NFS, I use NFS-kernel-server. This is the package. I have to install it. How to check whether the NFS is in service is running or not? To check that, actually, you need to check the status. So you need to check the service status actually. To check the service status, what is it you have to do? These are all the different things. These are the configurations actually. I could say that actually it is using the same name actually. NFS-kernel-server. This is the same name it is using. So let us use the same name. So systemctl status NFS-kernel-server. So I could say that actually it is active. It means that this service is up and running. Like this, we'll get to know. So this NFS is basically, this works only on CentOS or Red Hat, whereas in Ubuntu, the service name is the same as the package name actually, NFS-kernel-server. Okay, so it means that all these packages are installed actually. So all these packages have been installed. So this is also one of the good way of using a simple looping where you want to install the multiple packages. But sometime a question comes like whether do we really have to use the with items, or you have to use items for installing all the packages? Does app have internal looping where without using this internally it can install more than one package? Is it possible? Let's see, is it possible or not? So I'll just copy this. I will open one more file, a new file, something like loop6.yaml file. I'll paste it here. So let me do one thing. Let me remove all this with items and everything here. Okay. So I'll do one thing. I'll try to pass a list over here to the name itself actually. Okay, give two space hyphen Apache hyphen duplicate hyphen what is it? What I used here? Apache duplicate tree, right? Tree hyphen NFS hyphen kernel hyphen. Okay. And here state is not, but it's present actually. So I'm just verifying without using this loops like with items. Can this is possible? Can app internal support this kind of a way where you can install multiple packages? Let us see if it works or not. So I'll copy this same thing. I'll come over here. So I'll just say vi loop6.yaml actually. I'll paste this. So state okay is present. Okay. Apache wget tree, you have give two spaces. Fine. So let me check the syntax also one time. Okay. Ansible hyphen playbook loop6.yaml hyphen syntax hyphen check. So the syntax, it is not throwing any error. Let us see if it runs or not. If it is runs, it work or not, we'll see. Property, yes, it is installing. It means that, friends, this is also possible. So in this way, here what happened that you can avoid using any kind of a loops here. So in this case, whenever you're using apt model in case of Ubuntu, or else a yum model in case of a CentOS, you need not to use any kind of a looping. It is not required because in turn, apt or yum model in turn it supports looping by its own actually. So this is also one of the way where sometime an interviewer might ask whether you want to use any kind of looping while installing multiple package. You said no, it is not required because apt or yum model, its in turn supports the looping method. You need not to explicitly use items over there or with items for means you need not to use the simple looping for installing multiple packages, not required. Okay. So this is what it is. So whatever we have learned till now, it's basically a simple looping method where we are using a loop for using iteratively. We are one after the other, after the other items we are making use of with help of the with underscore items, and with items we are using those and we are achieving, right? With underscore items. So we are using items and with underscore items. These are the predefined variables. Predefined variables used in loops in Ansible. Okay. So in that this with items, it has a special meaning. It has a special meaning in Ansible. That's the reason we will be using this actually. Now the next question comes, right? Like what are the other loopings we have? We have a nested looping also. We have a hash also. So what is nested looping? Nested looping is something like, suppose assume that actually uh, assume that actually you might ask, is there any is there any fault is there in the simple looping, or is there something which we can't achieve in a simple loop, but we have to use some other method of looping to achieve certain task. So like that, we need to understand that why exactly we are using the nested looping. Okay, why we are using nested looping. So let us see an example of the nested looping actually. So like for example, assume that okay, because I've started with the nested looping, let me do one thing. Let me open a file with the name something like nested loop one.yaml. So let me write a playbook file, and like I'll just say three hyphens, hyphen host all, okay, become yes, task. So now what I need to do, I need to basically use a copy model. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll give two space hyphen copy. What you want to copy it? You will say that from here, give two space src. Source. What you want to copy? You will say that Rajesh, let me use a looping actually. Okay, I'll use this item predefined variable for the looping. Fine. Destination. Where you need to copy it? I need to copy under the temp directory. Okay, fine. Now with item you have to use, so it should always sync with this in this copy mode right here with underscore items. Give two space. So you will say that Rajesh, I want to copy the etc passability file. Okay. So this is a very simple example we saw in a very early when we are learning about the looping, right? The very first example, what we did, what I did, I tried to copy this file under the temp directory, right? This is what I did, right? Now the question might come to your mind that Rajesh, you are using this item value, that etc possibility for this item, right? Now the question will come again that why I need to define the destination here? Why I can't use item over here also? Right. So a question will come to mind. You will say that Rajesh, I will use this item here also. Fine. Predefined variable. But here, because I need to pass the destination, let me do one thing. Let me give the path here like this. So what you are thinking that you will say that Rajesh, what I need that I need to take a source, so that is item as this value, and the destination I need to take this value. Now let us see whether it works or not. Is there any syntax error, or is whether is this the perfect way, or is it correct way, or does the Ansible will support like that? In this way we'll just check. So how to check that? Let's just execute this example. So what you're doing here, the source, you are expecting that etc possibility. It means that this item should be replaced with this item with this value, or etc possibility file. Destination, where you need to copy this file, I need to copy under the temp directory. Okay, so the for the temp, what you did, right, you have defined one more item variable here, right? And you're expecting that this item will be replaced with this value. So it means that first this will be replaced here, and the second this will be replaced. That's what you or me are thinking like that. But let's see whether it will work or not like this. So I don't think I'll copy this. I'll go to the here. So what I'll do, I'll create one more directory here, something nested loop actually. I'm inside the nested loop now directory. So here I'll just say nested hyphen loop one.yaml. So I'm just pasting the content over here. So I'm just thinking that this will work, but let's see whether it will show a syntax error or it will run or what is it, we'll see. So I'll just say Ansible hyphen playbook nested loop one hyphen syntax hyphen check. Let's see. Oh, it says that its syntax is perfectly fine. It says that it means that you expect that it will run, but let us see whether it will run or not. It runs, it is okay, then it's fine. If it doesn't run, then there's some error. So We'll try to run. Okay, try to copy. Yes, yes, it is working here. Now here, the stuff is here that what it is happening over here. Let me do one thing. Let me go to the temp directory. Let me remove everything one more time. Okay. So I'll remove everything under the temp. So under the temp, both I have removed it. So this one, I try to run it again one more time. Next I do. Let's see if it works or not. Okay, copying etc password item. So it is copying. So what you're doing that you need to copy the etc password file under the temp directory. So come over here. See what it has did. See, it has not copied the etc password file at all. See what you're doing in your example. You are trying to copy the etc password file, the whole password file under the temp directory. So what it has did now, it has created the directory only. Here, come over here in the text to the note to sorry, and again you do ls. See, temp directory has been created. Under the temp, it has copied something else. So it means that the playbook has executed, but it has not given the proper result to us. This is what this is not what we are expecting. So this is something showing it very wrongly. So it doesn't work out in this way. So this is a wrong way, even though there's no syntax error, even though execution is working fine. But here, this loop, right, this loop will not work. This is not the correct way of doing it. So here what happened that this is something wrong. So it means that while running it, though it is taking this as a first item over here, right? But here in this case, what is happening is that actually the destination, the source itself, this is itself is taking over here like this itself, this for source, instead of taking this, it has took it this way, this one actually. And the destination, it has no destination also it has took that temp only because it is trying to copy, it is trying to create a directory temp under the temp only, but it is not trying to copy this file under the temp. So this is not happening. This is not correct way. Correct. Now what to do? What to do? So it means that this is wrong actually. This is completely wrong. This doesn't work out like this way. Now you will say that Rajesh, I'll do one thing. I'll do one thing. So you might be thinking out like what, how to do it. You might think over like, okay, I'll do one thing, Rajesh. Let me use some variables actually. Okay, let me use the variables actually. So what I will do, I'll do one thing. I'll create one more file, something like nested-loop.2.yaml file. Okay, so I will try to copy the same contents to the loop 2, nested loop 2 actually. Let's see actually how things works actually. Now you would say that Rajesh, I want to use variables in this example. I don't want to use this way. Okay. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me remove this. Okay, let it be in the temp like this. I don't want to use this. Okay, this will perfectly work fine, right? This will work fine because if I run this example, this it'll anyhow it'll work, right? You're using that to achieve the same thing what you did earlier. Let me use the variables actually. Okay. So what you'll do before the task actually, you will use the vars. Okay. So what you'll do, you'll give the spaces, one space, two space. You'll just say my dar. What is the directory? Give two space. You will say that Rajesh, I'm using the temp directory. Okay, fine. My file. What is that file? Give two space, one, two. Say Rajesh etc password file. Okay, fine. So now what you will do that? Okay, fine. This is fine, Rajesh. Now what I will do, I have to use this item actually. So here, same thing. Here what I did that I opened it. I'm not directly passing the temp. Let me do one thing. Let me use that item only because I need to use the looping actually. So here in the with item, what you do first, you need to pass the file source and the destination is nothing but the path actually. So what you will do that you will just try to pass this variables actually. How to pass it? Double quotes. Here what you are passing source is nothing but your etc. You have to use my file like this. We're just seeing some kind of a permutation combination, or we're just seeing whether it really works or not in this method also. The first method, it didn't work actually. Do double quotes, my dear. Close the double quote like this. So what you're doing here, you're just trying to understand whether if this doesn't work out like this, whatever we did, right? If this is the wrong way, because it doesn't understand whether I should take this as a first value for the source and this has to be second as a second value for the destination item value. It doesn't understand it. Basically, it is trying to episodically take. It might be taking this one first or this one first, but things are not working properly in this way. So what you are doing here, you're trying to use the next option. What you thought that let me use the variables actually, and now you have started using the variables actually. So I'm using the same item here, item. Okay, and here you could see that you were thinking that this thing might work. So what here it will happen, you tell me. Now with item, you're having the my file is not but etc password file, it will be replaced over here. My dir is not but the temp directory. So here for the source item, first value is not but my file, which is nothing but the etc password file. That you will think that though this will be replaced with the my etc password file. What is the second item? Second item is that but it will try to take this way, my dir. My dir is not but etc password file. It will try to replace over it. Means that you think that Rajesh etc password file will be copied to the temp directory with this example. Let's see whether it will works or not. So I'll copy this. I'll go to the Ansible server and I will just say nested2.yaml actually. Okay, and I'll paste this. I'll save this file. So let me do one thing. Before doing that, let me go to the node1 temp directory. So I'm under the temp directory. I will remove everything. I'm making it empty over here. Even the same thing in the node2 also. I'm coming over here. I'm removing everything. So under the temp directory, nothing is there. So now what I will do, I'll come over here. Let me first check whether there's a syntax error. Ansible-playbook. Okay. Nested -loop2.yaml -FN syntax -check. So let's see. So it is not throwing any error. It means that syntactically it says that it is everything is fine. Okay. Let me do whether it will work or not. Let me run this example. Work or not. So we're just saying, okay, it is copying, it is copying, it is copying. Okay. So some change has happened over here. Oh, it means that actually it is trying to copy the etc positive file, but it is also creating some temp directory. Let us see whether things have worked or not in this now. So I'll go to node1 temp directory and if I do lsfnl, see again the same stuff it has did. It has created a temp directory and it has copied something. Same thing, whatever the earlier example I did, no, same thing here also, using variable also, the same thing happened over here. This is not what we are required. We require the etc password file to be copied under temp directory. Like this, it should be copied. The password file should be copied over here. Correct, right? So this is not the way, right? So it means that even using the variables also, things are not working. So it means that this is not the right way. Whatever the way which we are adapting, right? This is not the proper. This or even this both methods are wrong. So that's the reason. See here what happened, right? Your Ansible is getting confused. It is not able to understand. It doesn't mean that you should not think like, okay, that first this order with this first this will be assigned to this, and the second value will be assigned to this, and the third value will be assigned to this, and the fourth value will be assigned to this. Like that, you cannot say that Ansible will take in an order fashion. It doesn't work like that. It will randomly take whichever the value it takes, right? It will take either it will take this value and it will assign to this value to the SRC. This will take this value and it will assign to the SRC. It might take any way. Things will not work in this way. Now, what you have to do now? So this two-way methods doesn't work out. Now let us see how the nested loop works now. So now we will open one more file. We'll create one more file. This is the proper example, which this is the proper method which we'll be coding now. So I'll be opening the nested tree. So I'll do one thing. I'll try to copy the nested loop one. Okay, I'll try to copy this, the nested loop one, copy it to the nested loop 3. Okay, because here, so this doesn't work out. Now what is happening that the Ansible provide a nested looping. How to use the nested looping? Here you're using source also, you're using item, destination also you're using item. But what you have to do, right? Here you have to use the index value. Here you have to use 0 as index value. Fine. And here you have to use 1 as an index value. 0 and 1. What it is. But here, one more extra thing which you have to change is here with you should not use with items, you have to use with underscore nested. And this one would happen, etc password file is correct and temp is fine. Now when running an example, how the nested loop will work like, so it say that item of 0, it means that it is index value 0. It means that it will take this as a first order value. So this etc password file will be assigned to this here item 0. And the item one is nothing but this value. This will be assigned to here. It means that you are trying to copy the etc possibility file under the temp path. This is the perfect example, but you have to use with underscore nested. You have to use this. Okay, guys. So this you have to use it actually. Now let us see whether this will work or not. So I'll try to copy this example. I'll go to the Ansible server. So I'll open I'll create one more file, nested-loop p.yaml file. This is the perfect example to show how the nested loops will work, right? So you could just see that, okay, not everything is fine. So I'll save this file. So I'll do one thing. I'll go back to the temp directory. I think I have removed already everything. Node 2 also, I have removed everything. Nothing is there in the temp directory. Let me come over here. I'll just say Ansible-playbook nested loop 3.yaml -fn syntax -check. Let me check whether syntax is correct or not. So syntax it is fine. So now let me run this example. Gathering facts. So it is trying to copy it. So what it did, can you see here? etc possibility file it has copied in the temp directory under this server. etc possibility file it has copied in the temp directory. So this is perfectly it has executed. Now if you come over to the here into the temp directory and if you say ls, can you see the possibility file has been copied here? Here also, so note 2 under the temp directory possibility file has been copied. This has executed perfectly. So whenever you are using the nested loop, always you have to use with underscore nested and you have to use the index values here 0, 1, 2, like that index value you have to use so that it can understand that index value 0 is nothing but this one, index value 1 is nothing but the next item, right? Like this. Okay. Now let us see some more examples. You will say that Rajesh, only one file I'm copying into this path. Suppose I want to copy the multiple files under the multiple paths actually. How to do that? So let me copy the same example and I will open the nested 4, right? 4.yaml. Nested-loop 4.yaml file. I'll paste it here. So you will say that Rajesh, I want to copy multiple files. Okay. So you're having like this, etc. Like here you are having, you say that Rajesh, etc. I need to copy the group file. I need to copy the fstab file. Okay, fine. Here also you have multiple paths. So I need to copy this etc possibility, etc group and etc under the temp directory. You need to copy all these files under the mnt directory. And also you need to copy all these files under the opt. It means that you're copying a multiple files in a multiple directories you are copying. All these three, it is a possibility, it is a group, and it is a first tab will be copied to the temp directory /temp directory. Same file, it is a possibility, it is a group, and it is a first tab will be copied to /mnt directory. It is a possibility, it is a group, and it is a first tab will be copied to the opt directory. But if you run this example, it will throw an error because like here's a small syntax you have to use here. You have to use the open packet actually, open square packet like this. And close with this single quotes like this. Close and close with the same thing you have to do here also like this. This is the perfect syntax. Yes. So open the code, close the code, again open the code, close the code, open the code, close the code, and space give the like this. So this is the perfect way of showcasing it. So here what I did, right? All these three directories, files, sorry, it is a possibility file, it is a group, and will be copied to all these three different directories. So let me do one thing. Let me go over here under the node 1. So under the temp, I have this file possibility. I'll remove it. Let me go to the OP directory, see if there is any directory, nothing is there. Let me go to the MNT directory and see anything is there, nothing is there. Same thing, come over here, node 2. So under temp possibility file is there, I'll remove this file. Let me go to the MNT, check if there is already something else is there already. So nothing is there. Go to the OPT and check, nothing is there. So everything, there's no file under MNT, OPT as well as TMP directory, right? So what I will do, I'll try to copy this. See, you could see that I'm still using the same thing. Index 0, item 0 is the, but it will be taking all these three values are as a item 0. Same thing, item 1 is nothing but it will be taking all this as item 1. Like right? I'll try to copy this file. So this is nothing but the loop 4. I'll go back to the Ansible server. I'll open the nested-loop 4.yaml. I'll just paste it. So is there any syntax error? With underscore nested? Okay, this is fine. Comma, comma. Everything is fine actually. Spaces, everything is there. Everything is fine. So I'll just save this file actually. So Ansible playbook nested loop 4.yaml hyphen syntax check. Okay, the syntax is fine. Let me remove the syntax check and run it. Let's see if it is doing that or not. So it is trying to copy. See, it's copied the etc password on temp. It has copied etc password on temp. It has copied etc password into OPT, groups, temp. So it is perfect. It has worked fine, guys. This has perfectly worked. So to just check it out, go to the temp, node 1. Under the temp directory, check. See, all this fstab group and possibility, all these 3 files have been copied. Under where? Under the temp directory. Similarly, go to the mnt directory. See, all these 3 files, fstab group, possibility file has been copied. Similarly, go to the opt directory. All these 3 files have been copied. It has perfectly worked. Go to the node 2, same thing. Under the, I'm already in the OP directory, say ls, see all these files have been copied. cd2 /mnt, ls, all have been copied. cd2 /temp, see, everything is copied. So this has perfectly worked. It means that you need to copy the multiple directories or multiple files in the multiple directories. In that case, you have to use this syntax, right? With using the with nested, you have to resolve this. So this is the advantage. The same thing, if you want to achieve with a simple loop, it is little tricky, little difficult to do it because you have to use multiple times. You need to use a copy model actually. Whereas here with only one copy model with the nested, another nested loop, right? You are able to achieve all these things, right? Now the question comes here. You might say that Rajesh, here in this example also you could see that I am using this etc possibility, etc group and etc fstab file. Same thing, temp directory. Can I use this in a variables actually? Right, the question comes, right? Can I use the variables? Can I call through variables? Yes, you can call through variables also. No problem. So let us code same example. Let me copy this and let me open one more nested-loop 5.yaml. So I'll just try to copy this, paste it over here. So let me do one thing. Let me use the variables actually. So before the task, right, I have to use the vars actually. So vars, okay. So that's the reason, guys, you have to use this variable heavily. So give the 2 spaces, say my file. What is those files? 2 spaces, etc, /etc, password. Same thing. Whatever you're using, you are here, right? I'm just replacing with this variable. That's all. Under etc group, under etc fstab file. So this you have achieved. Now you need to create. You have to use for directory actually, right? So what is it? My dir. I'm using one more variable, my dir. So give 2 spaces, space /temp, 2 space, 2 space, say opt or mnt. I'll just follow the order and you give space /opt. So here you are using the variables here. Now here how to remove this? You have to go here and you have to remove these 2 lines. Now what I will do with nested, I'll give 2 spaces hyphen, open the double quotes. Open the double quotes like this. What is it? You are copying. First is source. What is source? My file. My file. Like this. Close the double quotes. Give 2 spaces hyphen quotes. Double quotes. What is it? My dir. Right? And close the double quotes. Close the double floor packet with the quote actually. Like this. See, now here you have reduced it. If you see the loop 4. So here you use it look little bit clumsy actually. You are just replace these two lines with the variables using the variables. That's all, right? Because these variables can be used again and again in your same YAML file n number of times. That's the reason you are using always variables. So let's see whether this will work or not. So before doing that, let me go to the OP directory. Let me remove everything. Let me go to the MNT directory, cd/MNT. Let me remove everything. Let me go to the temp directory and just say remove everything. So I'm doing everything removing in the node 1. Now I'm doing in the node 2. So temp, I'm already in a temp. I'm removing everything. rm-rf star. I'll go to the OPT directory and I'll remove everything. And I'll go to the /MNT directory and I'll remove everything. I've removed everything just to show if this example works or not. So here using the variables my file and my dir, the syntax is correct actually. I'll try to copy this. I'll just go to your Ansible server. Here what I'll do, I'll just say vi nested-loop py.yaml. I'll paste it here. Okay. So here in this example, I'm using a variables. That's what, right? I'll save this file. So I will directly run this playbook file. I will not check any syntax error. I mean, syntax, I think it's perfectly fine. I'll just say nested-loop py.yaml. I'm just running this example. Okay. So let's see. So it is copying. Yes, it's happening now because I'm using a variables now, right? It will perfectly work fine. See, this is also getting executed. Okay. So now it is working fine. So you'll come over here, go to a temp. You could see all these 3 files are copied. Same thing. Go to /opt. All these files have been copied. Same thing with the MNT also. All these files have been copied. This is perfectly working fine. Even this method also is working fine. Now the question comes to your mind that Rajesh, I'm using this with nested. Correct. This is item 0, item 1. Fine. Now I'm using this variable actually. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this. I'm just assuming that we are just thinking something beyond. Like for example, we're just thinking that I'll be using nested-loop 6.yaml something. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll copy this, paste this. What are the loop 5 examples there? The same thing I have copied over here. Now, what you might be thinking that Rajesh, I'm using item 0, item 1, fine, because whenever I'm using nested, right, I have to use this suffix actually 0 and 1, 2, 3 like that actually. Now, the thing is that I'm using the base variable my_var, my_dir. Can I replace this item 0 with a my file? Okay. And I don't want to use this nested loop. Let us see if things will work or not. So what I'm trying to tell you here that let me do one thing. Let me remove this my dir. Okay, I don't want this my dir. Okay, fine. Okay. Now let this be only one variable, my file. I'll replace this source with instead of using item, I don't want to use the item. I'm using this my file. So these 3 files. I'm using this my file. It's a simple variable loops. What you're using actually. Okay, variables you're using. And here in the destination, I'm just using the item actually. I'm not using nested with nested. I'm using with items only. I'm using it. No, this is the simple variable, right? So here, what I'm doing here with items, because for this item you need to pass some value, right? So for that you need to mention here. So what is it? 2 space hyphen /temp /opt and /mnt. Now you might be thinking that whether if this will work or not. So what you're expecting that value, this will be taken, the first value will be taken into the my file like this. And what will happen that it is a positive file. It will be copied to the temp, opt and mnt, like because like this is an iterative, right? So the temp will be /temp we have assigned to the item variable, and this my file is nothing but the etc positive file. This will be here. So this will basically etc positive file will be copied to the temp directory. Fine. Again, what is happening that you will be taking a group actually. Again, what happens? The item next will be taken. So there's my file. What happened? The next value will be taking group value. So that group will be copied over onto the OPT. And the third is an MNT directory like this. Again, what is happening is that actually that you might be thinking that it is recursively all these three files should be copied under all these three different directories. That's what we might be thinking. Or let's check whether this will work or not firstly. So I suppose that this will throw a syntax error, because like here, whenever you're using any kind of variables doesn't have this looping by its own like this. It doesn't work out like this, because here I'm using the simple variables, right? In the simple variables, you will be having one value, but you will not be iteratively, it will not work like this actually. But let us see if things will work or not. Let us see. By executing only we'll get to know. Otherwise, we won't get to know how things will work actually. So what will happen that I'll go to the nested hyphen loop 6.yaml. I'll paste it. Now let me check. Save it. Let me check. Okay, it will work or not. I'll go to the main. Here again, I'll remove everything. Sorry, I'll remove everything. I'll go to the temp. Remove everything. I'll go to the OPT and I'll remove everything. Same thing I would do for the node 2 also. Already I'm in the MNT directory. I'll remove everything. Okay, it has removed. Okay, fine. Under OPT, I have removed everything. Under the temp, I have removed everything. Now, let's see whether this will work or not. I'm not sure. Let's see. So I'll go here and I'll say let, I think I already copied nested loop 6.yaml. I already copied it. Yes, I've already copied it. Let's see. Ansible hyphen playbook nested loop 6.yaml. So I did not to check. Okay, let me check the syntax also once. Syntax, there's no error, but things will work or not. Let us see actually. So what I'm expecting, all those three files, etc group, etc fstab, etc password, all these three files will be copied under all these three directories. That's what I'm thinking that it will work, right? So here I'm not using this nested. I'm just using a normal simple looping only. We're using with underscore items, whatever we used earlier, right? With the looping, that same thing. I'm thinking that this will work. Okay, but let's see whether it will work or not. See, it is showing a syntax error. Guys, whenever you are using this method, you cannot use this variable like this in this way. It doesn't work out like that actually. Now you would say that Rajesh, I want to do little manipulation here in the same example, but I have to use with nested only. I have to use, but I have to make use to work in this way only. How it will work? Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just copy this some content and let me do this. Let me open one more file. Nested hyphen loop 7.yaml file. I'll paste it here. So this is the same content. What I'm doing here, I'll do one thing. I'll do some few changes here. I'll just say my file of 0. I will do like this. My file of 0. Okay, fine. Okay, and I will what I will do for this item. My destination is item what 1. I will do like this. Rest all is same, but here what happened that instead of with item, I have to use with nested. Because I am using this suffix, right, 0 and 1, you have to use it nested. Now let us see if it will work or not. This will work or not. Let me copy this whole content, go back here, and I'll just say vi nested hyphen loop 7.yaml file. Paste it over here. So I'm using this my file 0. My file 0 is it will be using a suffix. First it will be, this will be assigned, then next will be assigned, then this will be assigned. Item 1, it means that from this item 1 is not what from this it is taking, from here in this loop it is taking. This my file is that from this here it is taking actually. Now just say this file. I'll just use Ansible hyphen playbook nested hyphen loop 7.yaml and hyphen syntax hyphen check. Let me first check whether there's any syntax error. There's no syntax error. Let me clear the screen and let me run this without the syntax check and see if things are working fine or not. Okay, it is trying to copy it actually. It has copied it. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me go to here and just say OPT. See, it has copied the OPT, password under the OPT, fine. And under the MNT, it has copied nothing. Under the temp, it has copied nothing. So only one thing only it has copied actually. Okay. So it means that this is not working fine the way we need actually. So here also this is not working fine the way we required actually. Okay. So basically what happened that you cannot use in this way also. This will not work out like this. So this is just to showcase you that things doesn't work out in this way also if you are using it actually. Okay guys. So etc password etc and source destination. Okay, fine. This is not working. Okay guys. Fine. So that's how we have completed up to simple loops and the nested loops actually. Okay. So for the hash loop, I think we'll not be able to cover today. What we are going to do is that we will be covering the hash loop in the next class actually. Okay. So what we are going to do here that we'll be continuing with the loops actually with the hash loop in next class, hash loop, and we will be covering up the Ansible conditions in the next session in the next class actually. Okay. Ansible conditions, as well as we will be learning about the handlers. Okay, we will be learning about the tags. Two stuffs we will be learning in the next sessions, right? Like for example, register, debug. These stuffs we will be learning in the next sessions. Okay, fine, guys. Thank you. Then, if you have any doubts, please comment in the comment. Put your any kind of doubts in your comment. I'll just try to reply back to you. Okay. Sure. Thank you. Naresh, you can stop the session. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye. Good night.